Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume along the way. Bob Brenly joins us shortly. Bob still down on the field as we conclude our 20th anniversary celebrations. It is game 3 of 4, the D-backs and the San Francisco Giants. Diamondbacks last night, winners without their skipper, Torey Lovullo. Torey was homesick watching the ball game. He met with the media earlier today.
Yesterday I came to the ballpark and I just was off. I wasn't feeling good, and there's something that's going around the clubhouse. I didn't know what it was, and the trainers just got to look at me and thought it would be a good idea if I just went to the doctor and just got checked up just to make sure everything's all right. So that's what I did, and they kept me for testing, and they checked me off and said that I was good to go probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and recommended that I just go home and rest up, and that's what I did.
Well, good to have the skipper back tonight on the mound for the Diamondbacks. It's Clay Buchholz, and Clay, since missing a month with that oblique strain, has won both starts, wins at Chicago and San Diego, and he's on the mound tonight against Giants rookie lefty Andrew Suarez. Going to be a lot of fun tonight. Curt Schilling will join us in the booth. Miguel Montero as well, as we celebrate 20 years of D-backs baseball, and the first pitch against the Giants is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs. Score free Jumbo Jacks, only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The Card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the Card today. Well, it's been an afternoon-long celebration of D-backs baseball all day, but now it's time to get to work. The skipper is back with us. The D-backs and the Giants next on Fox Sports Arizona. Baseball, 20 years worth in an afternoon. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, Jody Jackson with you. Oscar Soria and Rodrigo Lopez on our Spanish language broadcast on Fox Sports Arizona Plus. It's game 3 of 4. Goldie and the Diamondbacks winners last night set to take on the Giants on a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix, San Francisco. A game over 500. They're only 5 off the lead in the National League West. And let's take a look at the Giants lineup this afternoon. That's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
That's right fielder Andrew McCutchen leading it off for the Giants this afternoon. Gorkis Hernandez will be out in left field. Evan Longoria at third. Brandon Crawford at short. Austin Slater, who's been a D-back killer, he'll be at first base again today. Joe Panik in the lineup at second. Nick Hundley doing the catching. Stephen Duggar in center field, and lefty Andrew Suarez on the mound.
Well, here come the Diamondbacks, winners of 8 of their last 12 and dead even with the Dodgers for the National League West lead here on August the 4th. Your Ram truck starting pitcher for Arizona today is Clay Buchholz. And he has been one of the best pitcher pickups in recent memory. 9 starts as a D-back. He's 4-1 with a 2.65 ERA.
Yeah, over his last 4 starts, he's 3-0 with an ERA under 2. He has really been dealing. The changeup has been an outstanding pitch for him, in command of that fastball on both sides of the plate.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense.
David Peralta out in left field. A.J. Pollock will be in center. Steven Souza Jr. back in the lineup in right field tonight. Eduardo Escobar at third. Nick Ahmed at short. Ketel Marte at second base. Paul Goldschmidt over at first. Jeff Mathis doing the catching tonight for right-hander Clay Buchholz.
Bill Welke, the crew chief, is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Gabe Morales at first base. Here's Tony Randazzo. He's our second base umpire, and Lance Barrett is at third. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, as you know, in the alumni game, we had a pitcher's duel today. Team Red won it 1-0. So for the D-backs tonight, play like Team Red.
I saw you were very busy as commissioner of the alumni game, on the phone all the time, making phone calls.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have to work with the other alumni games around baseball to make sure that we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. We can't help but be exceptional here. We can only do what we do. And
I noticed you got some hardware as a member, the manager of the 20th anniversary D-backs all-time team.
Outstanding. I will display this proudly in my living room at home, right next to the miniature World Series trophy and some of the other awards I've received over the years, but this one sure means an awful lot. I told the guys on the field, I'll take this team and take my chances.
I think you do pretty well.
Good looking ball club out there, that 20th anniversary team. It's an honor to be part of it.
It's a well-deserved honor. Congratulations from all of your staff up here in the booth. That was moments ago, the all-time team down there for the team photo. And we are set to go. Giants won here Thursday 8-1. Diamondbacks last night 6-3. And Clayball Colts versus Andrew Suarez, game 3 of 4. Andrew McCutchen leads it off at 254 and 11 home runs. Diamondbacks put 3 infielders on the left-hand side against McCutchen. Right now the Rockies are getting trounced in Milwaukee 6-0. Dodgers and Astros later tonight. Statcast AI powered by AWS. McCutchen primarily a pull hitter. There's that Clay Buchholz cut fastball, and it's 0-2. And as you mentioned, Bob, what has worked so well for Clay this year is throwing that changeup off the cutter. Balls moving in different directions at different speeds. Jeff Mathis behind the plate today. He tried the curveball that time and missed.
That's a good lead him out of the zone curveball right there. Started on the outside corner, sweep it off the plate away, and hope to get McCutchen to chase a bad pitch.
McCutchen's been quiet, 1 for 9 in the series. He has struck out 3 times. Missed with a cutter again, and it's 2-2.
I felt kind of bad for Goldie and A.J. Pollock that had to play in the ball game today. Lengthy ceremony down on the field before the game. The rest of us old stiffs, we got nothing else to do, but Goldie and A.J. have a ball game to play.
McCutchen dunks one into right field, a leadoff single. Patrick Corbin, Zach Greinke, a member of the all-time team as well. Here's the left fielder, Gorkys Hernandez.
Left fielder, number 7, Gorkys
Hernandez, a 267 hitter. 13 homers, already a career high for him. And we'll have some clips from the alumni game throughout the course of our ball game. We'll have some shots from the introduction of the all-time 20th anniversary team. Kurt Schilling will join us in the booth later in the ball game, and we'll get a visit from Miggy time as well. Miguel Montero will stop by. Hernandez swings at the first pitch, pops it up. Here comes Escobar from third. Evan Longoria.
Third baseman, number 10, Evan
Longoria homered Thursday in the series opener, his 11th of the year. He's hitting .253. Longoria now with a 6-game hitting streak. He has doubled, tripled, and homered during his streak. Had a couple of singles and scored a run last night. Back to business after a stirring 20th anniversary team introduction. I particularly like the way the big unit came in. Randy Johnson introduced from the stands, and look at RJ just taking selfies all the way down the stairs. He really enjoyed his moment. Nicely done. All the different members of the 20th anniversary team introduced from all different sections of the ballpark. Kind of a nice touch.
Well, they didn't alert us, the guys who were already on the field, where they were coming from. We were like the fans. We were looking around, checking up and down the aisle. Steve Finley had to climb over the fence out by the pool to get down on the field.
Papa Grande made the long run in from the right field bullpen. In those orange pants, he was looking sharp.
I think he dressed after the alumni game in the Giants clubhouse and just grabbed the nearest pair of sweatpants he saw.
Either that or in the dark. But somehow it was it just kind of fit. It worked
sure
out.
Did.
Yeah, didn't it? Fastball's up and it's 1-2. And of course the talk of the booth up here before you were down in the field, we were all watching the alumni game, was the velocity on Brandon Webb's sinker.
Yeah.
We actually through the help of Major League Baseball got the radar guns and all that technology turned on for the alumni game, and we had Webby clocked in the upper 70s. So he was bringing the heat for 2 batters.
Well, he was feeling pretty good about it too when he made his way out behind the mound for the ceremonies. He was still beaming. Hey, did you see that? I said, yeah, I saw you face 2 batters.
Got 2 ground ball outs. That was appropriate. But he looked good. Rodrigo Lopez broadcasting the game right now with Oscar Soria. Rodrigo was down there playing and pitching. Always a hit. Here's a fly ball to right. Steven Souza Jr.'s out there. How about Brandon Webb? Take us through.
Yeah, pitch by pitch of Brandon Webb. Gravity got a hold of that one, pulled it down near the strike zone. Another gravity ball. Pitching around Steve Finley.
Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. Webby, 2 batters, 2 outs.
You know, it was funny. Webby said yesterday the thing he was most worried about was a comeback. Would he be able to defend himself out there on the mound? And Steve Finley, the first batter he faces, hits one back to the mound.
Here's Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Crawford had an RBI ground out in the game last night. He is hitless in the series. McCutchen still at first, 2 outs. Boy, and Gonzo came up his first at bat, had a long at bat, and just roped a double into the right field corner. Had a couple of hits in the ball game.
And also tried to bunt to third base against the shift in one of his at bats.
They have been on him for years to do that.
Well, I was on him for 4 years trying to get him to do that.
Didn't work then either. Yeah, at one point the other team had a 4-man infield shift loaded up on the first base side against Gonzo. Here it is, coming home, sorta. Now this would have tied the game.
Oh man, no, and they didn't go to the replay. I think he got in there. I really think it should be extra innings and we still be playing the alumni game.
Might be. McCutchen takes off. Crawford fouls that one away. It was a lot of fun and a tremendous turnout by the fans, Bob. I got here about 1 o'clock, 1:15. The place was half full already.
Boy, and they still have their favorites. Certain guys really strike a nerve with Diamondbacks fans. David DeLucci always gets a tremendous round of applause on Alumni Day here at the ballpark. Tony Womack back this year. Jay Bell and Matt Williams on video accepting their awards for the 20th anniversary team. A lot of very popular, very good players that have come through this ballpark over the last 20 years.
And Buchholz has faced 4 Giant batters. He's had 0-2 counts on 3 of them and a 1-pitch out against Hernandez. And we'll keep going with Crawford, who fouls off a changeup left up in the zone. And congratulations to all the D-backs employees, everybody, the ballpark staff, game ops, Scott Geyer, his group. These guys have worked toward this graduation day, if you will, for a long time. And there were a lot of details pulled off and a lot to coordinate, and everybody here did a tremendous job. It went off without a hitch. So congratulations to everybody here at the ballpark.
Just getting that many guys in the same place at the same time is a logistical nightmare for somebody.
And they've been working toward this all year long, really. You're going to condense 20 years of an organization's history into a few hours in one afternoon. It takes a lot. And they did a magnificent job. Crawford battling here down 0-2. McCutchen holding, and that pitch is a called strike 3. We're underway in downtown Phoenix. D-backs coming up. Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for San Francisco. It's the rookie lefty Andrew Suarez, 25-year-old. And his numbers this year, not overly impressive, but he beat the D-backs here at Chase Field about a month ago.
Yeah, 2 starts against the Diamondbacks this year. He's 1-1 with an ERA just under 4 in those 2 starts. Nothing really off the charts as far as velocity or movement. He just moves the ball around the strike zone, tries to stay down.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup.
David Peralta leading it off out in left field. Eduardo Escobar at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. A.J. Pollock will be out in center field. Steven Souza Jr. in right. Look out, David. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Ketel Marte at second base, with Jeff Mathis doing the catching tonight for right-hander Clay Buchholz.
Peralta in the leadoff spot against the lefty. 296 now with 17 home runs, and he is having a remarkable series. 7 hits and 9 at bats in the first 2 games. Shift is on. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. He's got a pair of doubles. He's got a home run. His homer last night matched his career high for his season, his 17th. And he's got another base hit. Wow. The freight train is rolling. E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the Giants defense.
Gorkis Hernandez playing left field tonight. Stephen Duggar in center field. Andrew McCutchen over in right. It'll be Longoria and Crawford on the left side of the infield. Panik and Slater on the right side, with Nick Hundley doing the catching for the lefty Andrew Suarez.
Switch hitting Eduardo Escobar bats from the right hand side. 278, 15 home runs.
David Peralta ought to ask for a recount on that 20th anniversary team just on this series alone.
He's making the 21st, I can tell you that. Fastball misses. Yeah, how about David so far? 8 for 10 in the series. Escobar has had 3 hits and a couple of RBIs in the first 2 games. Escobar can certainly handle himself from either side of the plate. Most of his power does come as a left-hand batter. Skies it behind second. Panik drifting out there, calling forward, and the second baseman's got it for the first out. Here comes Paul Goldschmidt. Well, some history for Goldie last night. Career home run number 200.
Slicing shot down that right field line, just snuck over the fence near the Giants bullpen out there.
That was his first at bat of the ball game. His 24th of the year. The home run last night is only hit in the series. Panik playing almost straight away up the middle, right behind the second base bag. All kinds of room on the right side of the infield for Goldie. Goldie with that home run last night tied Gonzo, or joined Gonzo I should say, the only players in D-backs history with at least 200 home runs. He and Gonzo now tied for the most in the history of Chase Field, 95 home runs in this ballpark.
Goldie's home run in the first last night, part of a 5-run first inning. The Diamondbacks lead the majors in first inning runs this year. Those 5 last night pushed them ahead of the Colorado Rockies. Diamondbacks now have 87 first inning runs. The Rockies at 82.
Suarez being careful here. Goldie did hit a home run against Suarez in San Francisco back in April. That was his major league debut. And he takes a 4-pitch walk. Third time in the series that Goldie has drawn a base on balls. Here's A.J. Pollock. A.J. member of the 20th anniversary team. This year a .290 hitter with 15 homers. Peralta's at second. Goldie's at first. 1 out. First pitch is lifted in the air, right field. McCutchen. Here's Souza.
Seen that recently, AJ, going after that first pitch, and a lot of times it's a good pitch to swing at, but just under it a little bit, skying the ball to center field and right field. Maybe just a little overly aggressive right now.
Well, back after a night off last night, Steven Souza Jr. hitting .235. He's homered twice. 0 for 4 in Thursday night's opener. Curveball misses down low. Souza this year has been doing much of his damage on pitches either low and away or pitches in on the hands. So we'll see if Suarez can stay away from those two spots. Fastball away. It's 2-0. Suarez can generate ground balls with his hard slider, sinker, changeup combo. His fastball averages 93 miles an hour. There's the curveball, misses low, and he's behind 3-0 with Ahmed on deck. The slider will touch 90. It's more of a ground ball pitch than a swing and miss slider like Patrick Corbin, for instance. Well, that fastball was off the plate, but Bill Welke gives him the 3-0 strike.
Well, he's got to do it again. Got to throw another one in the zone, otherwise he'll load him up for Nick Ahmed.
That's a fair ball down the right field line. Peralta will score. Goldie's on the run. Souza digging for third. He's got a 2-run triple.
Pitch up on the outer third of the plate. That's really nice hitting by Steven Souza to not try to pull that ball. Stay on it, drive it down into that corner. Andrew McCutchen having all kinds of issues with that ball down in the right field corner, and Souza ends up at third base with his second triple of the season.
Boy, he's been piling up the extra base hits lately, Steven Souza Jr. Nick Ahmed now a chance to tack on a run. Nick hitting .241, 14 home runs. Nick with a 4-game hitting streak. He has doubled in 3 straight games. He was hit by a pitch in his only at bat last night. Boy, Suarez is all over the place here so far. Nick Hundley going to go out and have a chat. No Buster Posey in the lineup. Posey came out of the game last night with concussion-like symptoms, so they're keeping an eye on Posey. Giants did make a couple of roster moves. Kelby Tomlinson and Chris Stratton were sent to the minors. They brought up some bullpen arms after last night's ball game. Stratton able to complete only 3 innings.
Both teams operating with a 4-man bench. Buster Posey, we have to assume, is probably unavailable tonight under.
Ahmed to center. Make it 3-0 D-backs.
Stop now. Boy, center cut fastball for Nick Ahmed. That time drives it right up the middle of the field. Steven Souza can walk home from third base with the 3rd run of the game.
Boy, for Nick, that's 16 RBIs in his last 13 games. His bat has really come alive this summer. A chance now for Ketel Marte. 252 and 9 homers. D-backs put up 5 in the first last night. So far 3 in the first today. Marte, fly ball, left center. It's gone. For the second night in a row, Bob, we got your first inning tacos.
We like early tacos. Boys, he just waited so well on that breaking ball. Got his way down on the front foot, but kept his hands back and barrels that up way out of here to left center field. Yeah,
that's
early
5.
tacos. We like it. First inning tacos.
And all 5 RBIs, by the way, coming with 2 outs. Jeff Mathis, the catcher. That's a jumbo jack off the bat of Ketel Marte. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. Jack in the box with the purchase of a large drink. Swing by after you pick up your tacos. Mathis fouls that one away. Jeff, 206. He was 0 for 4 Thursday against the Giants. That snapped a 5-game hit streak for him.
Apparently, shock and awe are back. Or is back. How do you say that? Shock and awe.
It's a concept. It's singular, so is.
Is. Well, it is back. 5 runs in the first last night. 5 runs in the first here tonight.
So Torey Lovullo back as well. Good to have the skipper back with us after he was under the weather yesterday. He said if it meant another win with the way Jerry Narron has managed the ball club in his absence, he would be happy to sit out if it assured them of a W. Jerry has also won a game when Torey got ejected in St. Louis and was the winning manager yesterday. 2-2 on the D-back catcher. Called strike 3, but for the second consecutive ball game, the D-backs put up 5 in the first.
These current Diamondbacks making the organization proud, as there's a big crowd here, of course, to celebrate the history of the franchise and the 20th anniversary team. And as the Diamondbacks are known to do, appreciate their employees. They put the all call out to all former employees. And they had a toast earlier today up at the concourse level. Jerry Colangelo, Ken Kendrick, and really just sending out appreciation. You know, you all saw on the field the players and everything that went into that, but just those behind the scenes, those that worked in all aspects of this organization, and being able to celebrate them, and many of them up in section 205 enjoying this day and celebrating the franchise, guys.
It was a tremendous celebration, Jody. A lot of fun this afternoon. All the Diamondback faces from the last 20 years gathered here. And suddenly it's 5-0 for Clay Buchholz. Here's the troublesome Austin Slater, which I think is the perfect word for him. .333 this year. But he's already got 4 hits and 4 runs batted in the series.
Troublesome is a good word. I can think of a few others, but it's a family show.
That's right. He is, how about this? Austin Slater 9 for 14 against the Diamondbacks this year, with 3 doubles and 7 runs batted in. And what's more remarkable, he's done all of that in only 4 games against the Diamondbacks. I mean, he's been a one-man wrecking crew against the D-backs. He's your first baseman, Brandon Belt, on the DL right now, a hyperextended right knee. Slater, an 8th round pick by the Giants out of Stanford in the 2014 draft.
Hey, you mentioned Brandon Belt on the disabled list. He's eligible to come off the disabled list tomorrow. But I didn't realize until looking at this lineup and the bench for Bruce Bochy today, they are really, really right-handed heavy without Brandon Belt.
Crawford's had a very quiet month from the left-hand side. There's a good changeup from Buchholz. Bob, you mentioned that pitch has really worked well for him this year. Joe Panik, one of their other left-hand bats, on deck. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on from the left-hand side for the Giants. Oh, he almost had another double. Well played by Doc Rosenblatt. Look at Doc move down there. Still got it. Golden Glover down the right field line, and Ron Pennington. We've got some veterans working the ball game here today.
These are the 20th anniversary Golden Glovers. As good as it gets.
Well, they finally got rid of Austin Slater. There's the cutter, and Buchholz has his 2nd strikeout.
One thing that has made Slater so dangerous against the Diamondbacks is his willingness to hit that ball to the opposite field. Saw that cutter on the outside part of the plate, went after it, and in that late movement took it right off the end of the bat for strike 3.
Joe Panik hitting .234, 4 home runs. Panik 0 for 3 in the series. He's had a hard time this year just staying healthy. Thumb problems, groin problems. Yanks that one foul down the line. Giants a game over 500. They're 4th in the division, but only 5 games off the NL West lead. D-backs and Dodgers tied for the division lead at the start of play tonight. Dodgers hosting Houston again. Rockies are getting beat up, but it's still early in Milwaukee. It's 7-2 Brewers. They're in the 4th at Miller Park. Colorado 2 games behind the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. 1-2 on Joe Panik. Panik drives one to right center, and Souza can't cut it off and rolls to the wall. Panik in at 2nd with a stand-up double. 2nd hit for the Giants.
Ball hit a little bit harder than Steven Souza Jr. thought. He took a very shallow line over into the gap in right center field, and that one took a skip and got by him all the way to the wall.
Catcher is Nick Hundley. 250 and 9 homers. Just drops a first pitch curveball in there and steals strike 1. Hundley struck out twice in 2 at-bats after replacing Buster Posey last night when Posey had to leave the ball game with concussion-like symptoms. So if Posey is active but still unavailable, and we don't know that for sure, I believe Chase Darno would be their emergency catcher. You're in that sort of observation period with Posey right now. When a guy has those concussion-like symptoms, they watch him closely for a day or two. There's that Buchholz cutter tailing away from the right-hand hitter. Acting almost like a hard slider at times. 1-2. Duggar, the center fielder, on deck. A little too far out there with that cut fastball, and it's full 3-2. One of the things that really stands out about Clay Buchholz has been his almost relentless efficiency this year. And tonight, 30 pitches, 21 strikes. He is always right around the strike zone. And another cutter but missed. First base on balls issued by Buchholz. Giants have 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, you mentioned Buchholz being efficient. He's around the strike zone all the time, but rarely right down the middle of the strike zone. You know, got that four-seamer he can pound inside to a right-handed hitter. Got the cutter he can throw away from righties, and for the most part has been able to keep those 2 pitches away from the danger zones.
Duggar, the rookie, singled twice and walked in the series. He's knocked in a run. He's got Panic at second, Hundley at first, and 1 out. And Buchholz is almost always working from ahead in the count. He's done a wonderful job throwing first pitch strikes. And he's, in a sense, been the master of the quick out. I mean, you see it time and time again, 3 and 4 pitch outs for Buchholz. And you look up and he's gone 6 2/3. He's completed 7 innings, whatever it is. Ooh, that's a good changeup right there. Duggar laid off, but didn't get the call from Bill Welke. 1-1.
That's a perfect location for that changeup, right down there at the bottom of the strike zone. Should have been a called strike. If you swing at it, it's probably going to be a ground ball to the right side.
That was actually kind of a classic Bill Welke non-call. He's basically a hitter-friendly umpire and calls low pitches for strikes, according to the data, a lot less often than most umpires. Now Buchholz is behind 2-1. That non-call really changed the tone of the at-bat. Change up missed away. That's a ball. 3-1. Buchholz walked Hundley. Now he's behind 3-1 on Duggar, with the pitcher Suarez on deck. Fastball, swing and a miss, and it's full 3-2. Well, if you can get Duggar here, you've got the pitcher up next, and hopefully you get out of it unscathed. Got him. Well, he got him with a changeup after all. Third strikeout for Buchholz.
Couldn't get the call down at the bottom of the strike zone, so he goes right for the middle of the zone that time with the changeups. Gets a big swing and a miss right there.
So 2 on and 2 out for the pitcher, Suarez. He does have a couple of base hits this year. Again, a first pitch curveball missed that time. It's 1-0.
You can see the frustration for Buchholz out there on the mound. That's a pitch he needs to steal that first strike against not only the opposing pitcher, but any hitter in this Giants lineup. That's a great first pitch if he can get it in and around the zone.
Here's a low strike call from Welke. Fastball at the knees, 1-1.
You mentioned Suarez does have a couple hits on the season. He's also walked twice, which is really unusual for a pitcher, but he has struck out 18 times in 30 at bats.
Panic at second, Hundley at first. Another curveball. He's having some fun with that pitch now. 1-2. Big crowd here today for our annual alumni game. And the introduction of the all-time D-back team on the 20th anniversary. Late time call by Mathis. Called strike 3, curveball in. 4 strikeouts for Buchholz. He strands 2 and leads it 5-0.
That's so you can throw open too. I'm totally I'm so nervous about getting a line drive back at me. I'm like,
I'll be like Gonzo and BP. Pull.
Just pull it. Just pull. It's going to be slow enough. You'll definitely be able to pull it.
Yeah.
Well, this is what actually happened. Webby and Finley. Look out, Webby. He went right back up the box.
Well, if you're scoring at home, that is a 1-4-3, so Webby gets an assist on that. He always was a defensive wizard.
And now the D-backs starting pitcher tonight, Clay Buchholz, the only man who did not bat in a 5-run first, leads off the second. Alumni game today. Kurt Schilling will join us in the booth a little later on. Miguel Montero as well. Good to see Schilling again. I got to talk to Kurt a little bit before the game. He was just thrilled to be here and reunite with all his teammates. He was having a lot of fun. Seeing some guys he hadn't seen in a long time, which is the general tone and tenor of these types of things. It's a real big reunion, I guess, for
like
everybody.
A big class reunion. Getting together with buddies and sharing some memories.
Second strikeout for Suarez.
Getting up to speed on how many kids do you have now? How many grandkids do you have now?
Well, people will be naming their children after David Peralta and their grandchildren if he keeps hitting like this. He singled and scored to lead off the ball game. He's up to 296 for the year. And in the series, he's got 8 hits and 10 at bats. Something to smile about. Cricket Wireless. How about David Peralta so far in this series? He is putting on a show. 4 hits in the opener Thursday. He singled, homered, and doubled last night. And they finally get him out here, 2 down in the second.
And the thing about David Peralta recently is, and I mentioned it last night, it seems like every time he makes contact, it's right on the meat of the bat. Everything is barreled up and hit hard.
Eduardo Escobar, the third baseman, popped up his first time.
That's a funny thing about Major League Baseball. You can get a whole bunch of hits but not really feel good about your swing. You know, hit one off the end of the bat that bloops in, get jammed and hit a little ground ball that dribbles through the infield. But when you're barreling it up and getting base hits on top of it, that's when you feel like you're at your best. And right now David Peralta is just smoking hot at the plate.
Well, he needed to keep going because this has been a somewhat consistent trend lately, and we saw it again last night. The Diamondbacks score a bunch of runs early and then nothing. Last night, 5 in the first, 1 in the second, and they won 6-3. The offense was quiet from the third inning on. So hopefully after a 5-run first here tonight, they keep it going. Third base for Longoria. And Suarez bounces back with a nice quick 1-2-3 second. It's 5-0 D-backs.
In baseball history, Robin Ventura plunked by a Nolan Ryan fastball back on August 4th, 1993, and then noogie. 6 punches. Don't ever lead with your head, Robin.
Well, the famous quote that Ventura always has is, I ran out there and immediately thought this was a bad idea. How about this? Kurt Schilling in the booth. Welcome back. It's great to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, Skipper.
Good to see you, Hoss. How you doing?
Good.
Man?
How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, Ventura, the guy wrestles cattle for a living, and he
Didn't
throws
look
100.
like it there.
No. Ryan
yeah.
had a farm. I mean, that was just not his best moment.
What was it like to be part of the festivities here today for you?
You know what? It's. I always say I can never give baseball back what it gave me. days like today when I walk in and I haven't seen you in years, and it's like we just saw each other yesterday.
I bet.
You know, those friendships, those things that we have that nobody else has. I mean,
McCutcheon gets into one, and that one is gone. Andrew McCutcheon is 12th, and the Giants are on the board.
but I was saying, you know, there were 25 players in uniform and 5 coaches in 2001. And we'll always be that group of guys. I mean, it's a bigger family, obviously. The clubhouse guys and all the trainers and the staff up, the radio, TV people. But as players, you know, I got to experience something. I mean, listen, I got to play in 2 of the most memorable World Series ever played in a span of 4 years, and with some of the most amazing people. So today, seeing Webby and we were talking to him, I was telling Skipper, can you imagine if I had stayed healthy and RJ had stayed healthy and we'd gone into 2004 with Webb and RJ and I, that would have been kind of fun.
Here's Gorkys Hernandez, Kurt Schilling with us in the booth as we
would have had to win a whole bunch of 1-0 games, though.
Well, offense wasn't quite there.
The Sexton trade would have never happened because that was why.
Now here you are being introduced.
Yeah, my goodness, I'm fat.
No,
I am. I have put on. I am stuck right now in a rut, and I just got to get going. But that's what retirement is. I still haven't worked a day in my life, and I have a bulldog at home. And every time I see Georgia, who's like 50 pounds over, I think of myself. And so it's just a constant reminder.
Well, you have that bulldog mentality. That's all that is.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Fastball.
You know, Brandon Webb, this is the first time he's pitched in an alumni game, so maybe you get on his program for next year and you come back and start.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Webby goes out in his backyard. He throws eggplants around.
Well, first of all, Webby had a 16-pound sinker today. I mean, I don't care if he's thrown for 7 years. He still looked good. This has been fascinating for me to watch because Clay was a rookie.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Came up in Boston when I was there. And, I mean, this guy had Hall of Fame written all over.
Well, he threw a no-hitter in his second start, right?
4+ pitches. He was a guy, for one of the first pitchers I ever played with, who could literally punch you out with 4 pitches. His curveball, his slider, his changeup was plus. It still is. And I tried to talk to him as hard as I could talk to him about tempo and pace. He's always been a guy who works slow. And you rarely see.
Here comes Escobar from third. Throw pulls Goldie off the bag, and Hernandez is safe.
I think it's going to be an out.
Escobar throwing on the run. We'll see if the Diamondbacks want a challenge.
Well, you just hope Goldie's okay, too. That throw led him right into the runner there. That's a really dangerous play for a first baseman.
You remember Cliff Floyd?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that ended almost. I thought he got a little bit up. They touched him, and if he touched him before he touched the bag.
Bill Welke checking in with first base umpire Gabe Morales. And the Diamondbacks do want a challenge. Torey Lovullo is making the challenge signal. Here's another look from a different angle.
Yeah, they made contact, and it had to be before the bid.
Well, the headsets will come on. Gives us more time with Kurt Schilling here.
Yeah.
But I was saying, I'm working with Clay and as a young pitcher, great kid. A lot of people don't know he was one of the #1 wide receiver recruits coming out of high school for football.
Lumberton, Texas.
Ran a 6.360. So from an athlete,
I'd always heard that he was the fastest guy on that team.
Faster than Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yes, everybody said that. In fact, didn't they have a challenge race one time? I think you told me that actually. Yeah.
And but I mean, you can see the stuff is still there. It's just the tempo thing. I've never seen a Greg Maddux or a Randy Johnson or a Pedro Martinez. You don't find great pitchers with slow tempos because it's all about keeping your team involved and moving. And even if you're a strikeout pitcher like RJ was, he worked fast. So you're always expecting strikes.
Buchholz said, and they got him out at first, that when he pitched in the minors on some rehab starts, they had the pitch clock, and that actually helped him speed things up a little bit. Are you a pitch clock guy? Do we need to put these things in the game for you?
If you're a good pitcher, that's not something that ever even factors into what you do. If the pitch clock's a concern, you're waiting to go back to AAA. It's just not something good pitchers have to worry about.
Here's Evan Longoria. Do you get to watch any D-backs games back in Massachusetts?
Yeah, I follow players now as opposed to teams.
Like which ones?
Well, I'm a big Goldschmidt fan. I've liked Corbin, so I did some work a couple years back, and I've done it for different clubs during the draft. And Bradley was a pitcher that I did a report on coming out of the draft,
really?
and Corbin as well. And so I'll watch them to see if I was either right or wrong, just, you know. And And I'm comfortable in saying that I've only had one really big miss, and it was as big a miss as you could get. And, well, two, actually. I'm sorry. Chris Sale, who I saw coming out of college, and I was like,
that didn't pan out.
No, I was like, well, the arm angle's kind of iffy, and he's a skinny guy. And then I played with RJ, and I was like, well, that's probably not a bad thing, actually. And Scherzer.
Well, a lot of guys missed on Scherzer.
But it was the arm. That delivery was so funky. But he, well, I mean, you're looking at two guys that are probably going to go to the Hall of Fame if they stay on.
There's a cutter for a strike, 1-2.
And the other thing is Clay is one of those guys, he'll shake 4 times, and it'll be legitimately shaking out 4 different pitches, as opposed to shaking off some location.
So he knows what he wants then in certain situations.
He does.
This is pretty well hit. Deep right center field. AJ won't get there. And it's off the wall. So McCutchen a home run. Now Longoria a double. Now, what made you so great when you were a D-back? What was your great strength back in the day, pitching for this ball club?
Honest to God, my team. I always pitched with the mentality of, hey, listen, the winning run's going to lead off the game. So I didn't want to give up runs ever, and we had a great team. Defensive, I think probably, and I don't know, I still believe Craig Counsell had one of the best years I've ever pitched in front of at third base when he went into third base. But we had great defense, so putting the ball in play, and I really, honestly, in this ballpark, tried very much to pitch to center field. And I had Steve Finley.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, it means trying to control where the ball goes off the bat.
Okay.
And so this ballpark is suited for exactly that kind of a pitcher, number one. And number two, I had Steve Finley in center field. And I would tell you, I would argue one of the most underrated players of my era, without a doubt. But so I would pitch the center field in this park. But my strength here was I threw strikes, and I had a team behind me that was involved in the game. You know, I was always someone who was very into my defense on the days I pitched. I would move my players around and all that stuff and get them involved in my game.
And we see Zach Greinke do that a lot now here. Now, would that same process still apply for current D-backs pitchers?
Oh, absolutely. If you wanted to, but there's a lot of time involved, and a lot of people don't want to make that investment because then you're accountable for everything, right? If I'm moving my defenders around, and I would tell them, listen, I want you to move here and do this, and if the ball goes somewhere else, then that's my fault.
Right.
A lot of guys don't like that responsibility or that accountability, and so they'll let the defensive coach set them up. And you know, for me, it was always about knowing I know what the hitter's going to do if I do what I want to do.
There's the Buchholz curveball. Mathis finishes that off, and that's 5 strikeouts for Clay.
Big yacker from Clay Buchholz, ends up in the dirt. Almost got through Jeff Mathis there, but he smothers it enough to get the out.
Here's Austin Slater.
You know, one thing Diamondbacks fans, when you were pitching here, Kurt, you were always over there with your notebook.
Yeah.
Making notes.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff was in the book?
And you know, I mean, for me, it was all about everything being fresh. So much would happen in 100. So I would put a game plan together, and I could tell you every single pitch I wanted to throw when the game started, first, second, third at bat to each hitter, which would then it would adjust itself to the game, the score and the batter and the runners and the situations. And you know, there were certain hitters who, like a Derek Jeter hit the right field because he played in Yankee Stadium. That didn't change. And in the World Series, I threw Derek Jeter fastballs in and fastballs in until I threw him the dumb fastball away in Game 7. but I mean, there are certain things. But I didn't ever want to be surprised on the mound. I didn't want something and I was always afraid. I was more worried about facing the guy up from AAA. I would call AAA coaches
because he was
scouts because I didn't know him.
Yeah.
So I would call coaches and scouts and get a read on that guy because I didn't ever want to be on the mound and have something happen that I wasn't prepared to handle.
We saw J.D. Martinez here last year after every at bat. Out comes the notebook in the dugout, taking notes, writing stuff down.
Remember, it's a 9-month season.
So if you're facing a guy in August, oh, I saw this guy in April, you go back to the book.
Well, here's the other thing. I kept every notebook that I ever did. And so each year in spring training, my big day was the day they put the umpire's schedule out and the umpire's press guide. And so, and that would be the day I would translate my notebook from the previous year. So I would rewrite the same things over and over and over again. And it would almost be like muscle memory. So I wouldn't, and so when the postseason came, like 2001, you know, I faced the Yankees 3 times in 9 days, but I was never worried about them knowing me. Like they're going to figure you. I do what I do, and if I do what I'm supposed to do right, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. That's how I felt as a pitcher. You know, if I throw the ball 96 down and away and 96 middle in, you can hit one of them, you can't hit both.
You didn't need gimmicks, in other words.
Well, no, and most pitchers don't. They just don't. They don't put enough time and investment into it to know that they can prepare themselves. Like I would start a game, and I always felt like I had the advantage. I only have to get about 14 or 15 outs tonight because these 12 outs I know I've already got. So you got to get 27. I got to get 15. I'm going to beat you.
Usually did.
Well, I mean, it
worked out.
It was
a whole bunch of times in some big games.
But again, that gets back to we had a system here. We had a coaching system. I would argue not only was he the right manager for the right team in the right spot from a personality perspective, but probably the best bench coach I've ever been around in Bob Melvin. I mean, the communication they had, I've never seen anything like it, and I've always looked for it since then, which was that communication with, hey, you're not going to play tomorrow. Hey, you're going to play tomorrow. You need to be ready for it. Having all your players ready for their job was the first time I'd ever seen that done to that degree. And I think that was a very big reason why we were consistent that whole year.
And that's something that really works extremely well right now with Torey Lovullo.
Well, the game's changed. Right now you have to talk to your players.
Yeah.
It's completely different from that perspective. You don't have to know when to hit and run or bunt anymore. That's your bench coach. You have to communicate and work with your 25-man roster and make those players care more about your opinion of them than anything else.
And that really has become, Kurt, it seems, the prototype for the modern day manager. Ownership and GMs, they figure that out as well, and that's the kind of personality they look for.
You've had and there's a middle ground here, but you had a diversion in the sabermetrics and old school, right? I mean, you hear both schools at the extremes will poo-poo the other school. There's a middle ground where both of them work, which is where I think Terry Francona got and became so effective.
Yeah.
But you have to have a front office that's willing to, there is no one way to do this, right? So hey, give me the sabermetrics, let me put them together with the players that I have, and let me go ahead and manage the way I manage with that information. I mean, I've talked to Gabe Kapler all year long. I've talked to Aaron Boone all year long as well, just trying to help them from a pitcher's perspective, what guys are thinking. And Gabe started out, every move he made was based on some formulas and sabermetrics they put together.
And he got hammered in Philly when he started doing that.
And I didn't care about the fact that he got hammered by the fans. My concern was, the one thing I need from you as a manager is consistency. All right, just like an umpire. I don't care. Listen, if I have to go out in the 7th inning and I have 68 pitches and I have to look over my shoulder, that's a problem. Listen, and not every guy's the same. You manage sabermetrically, you're managing by the numbers, and you've got 5 different guys who the numbers mean very different things to.
Want to know on Joe Panic? Kurt Schilling with us in the booth. Diamondbacks have, I think, embraced both those things.
Yes.
You've got the manager here, Torey Lovullo, that relates to the modern day player, and you've got the analytics in the front office with Jared Porter and Mike Fitzgerald and the group that Mike Hazen has put together here. And so far, it's worked out wonderfully.
Well, when they get along, there's a harmony there that works for everybody.
Oh, that's a good point.
And the other piece is the players have to buy in, because if the players don't buy in, none of that matters. And that's where the manager comes in, I think.
Slow roller. Ahmed going to have to charge. Bare hand play. Got him at first, Nick Ahmed. 20 years of D-backs baseball. Kurt Schilling. Kurt, thanks so much. It was great to see you, man. Good to catch up.
Skipper. All right, awesome. Good to see you.
5-1 D-backs. 5-1. Don't forget our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. You can play from home along with all of us at the ballpark. Get your tickets at dbacks.com/50-50 raffle, and stay tuned for the post-game show when they reveal the winning number. Bottom of the third here, and it's Miggy time in the booth. He's back, Miguel Montero.
How you doing, guys?
We're doing great. It's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks for doing this.
Fun to be here, though. Fun to be here, and especially get to see a game from here, though. You got a nice seat, so
yeah, not bad, huh? This is where we used to watch you all those years.
I was to get the best seat of the house.
You look like you really had a lot of fun today.
I was. It was fun. It was finally a fun baseball game, you know, because the last few years it's been a lot of grinded, and you know, it was just competition, you know, and it kind of we forget about the fun part of the game. And today was going back to literally sit down, baby.
Yeah.
That's a base hit.
Sometimes you got to talk to him, right, Miggy?
Yeah.
Get down.
You got to talk to him. I talk to him all the time.
Yes. Talking was one of your great strengths.
They won't listen sometimes.
So tell us about what it was like to be part of the ceremony today.
It was awesome. You know, I'm humbly appreciate of the fans for the support, and you know, the organization. They put up a really good show today. It was we had a good crowd today, so it got you pumped up for the game. And it's just great to be back with put the Diamondbacks uniform on.
Here's AJ as Miguel Montero joins us in the booth as we celebrate 20 years of D-backs baseball. AJ flying out his first time up. You hit one of the biggest home runs in Chicago Cubs history, but looking back, will you consider yourself a Diamondback at heart?
I do, though. I mean, like, I played pretty much the most of my career here. I played 9 years here with the Diamondbacks, and you know, I went through a lot of good times and bad times here, so I got to experience both sides of the history. And in Chicago, you know, when I got to Chicago, it was just like a good times.
You got on board at the right stop.
I got the right time.
But it was a tremendous run here for you, Miggy. We're looking at some great video.
Well, you were the total package, though, Miggy. A lot of times you have a catcher that's defense only. They handle the pitching staff, they throw well, but they can't hit a lick. Other guys are big-time offensive players, but they kill you behind the plate. You were a nice combination of both.
Yeah, you know, I work hard. I was lucky that I have a good manager in the minor league was Bill Plummer, and then when I got to the big league was Glenn Sherlock. So I worked really hard to get better behind the plate, because the one thing that I was always confidence was hitting. Like I always felt like I could hit, but I want to be like the whole package. I want to be a good catcher. I want to be a good thrower. I want to be a good hitter, so I had to work for it.
I remember my first spring training here. I got first day, and I see Miggy squatting down there in the bullpen. You know, there's like 8 guys warming up at once, and Miggy, man, this guy never shuts up. But you were the life. You got everybody going, man. You had the energy. You were the energy guy.
Yeah, you know, like it was days that you don't have it, but you trick your mind. So I had to do it just in order for me to trick my mind and be able to go out there and compete, because it's a long season. So if you're not going to feel that energized every day.
But you're out there catching bullpens at 7:30 in the morning, and you're fired up and ready to go. That's what you brought to the ball game, and I imagine every day.
And that's something that I always like to do, because you know, it's a lot of guys, like not everybody's got the same personality, but if I can get fired up guys and get the team going, just to scream at it or something.
Goldie takes off. AJ hits it up the middle. Spinning throw by Panic, and they get Pollock at first. Goldie moves up.
So it was the way that I did things, you know, like I just before I walked out to the field for every game, I was just screaming out and tell the guys to get tingling and let's go. And
I got a little tingly when I heard that familiar Miggy walk-up music that played today. That goofy song that you always had.
That was 07, 08, I think.
Yeah.
That
brought back some memories.
Well, you mentioned spring training, Bert, and I remember one spring Miggy graciously agreed to do an interview, and I said, I'll meet you at the ballpark. What time do you get there? It was like 5 o'clock in the morning.
I remember when you did that.
He was in the weight room. He was getting all his work in. There wasn't another soul in the clubhouse. You were the first guy there.
Sometime I got there before Roger did.
Roger Riley.
But that was the thing, you know, like if I got there early, I get my workout done, and I already got my block going, and at 7:30 I was just like, I was ready to go. For a lot of guys, they're just waking up.
Yeah.
Here's Steven Souza Jr. 0-1. You were always a fan favorite here. I mean, the fans seem to appreciate you a lot more than some of the other players. You were always seemed to have a special place in their hearts here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely and to me too. I mean, I feel the same way. For all the D-backs fan, I mean, every time they see me around or in the street, they always come and say hi. They're very supportive, and you know, it's fun to be here again and watch him, and they all, you know, saying hi, congratulations. It just, you know, it's great though.
2 balls and 1 strike on Steven Souza Jr. Goldie at second, 1 out here in the third. Miguel Montero with us in the booth. Souza had that big 2-run triple, part of a 5-run D-back first.
That was a good first inning right there. It was quick. It happened quick right there.
5 runs, all with 2 outs, yeah.
That's something that they were missing in the first game of the series. Left a couple guys, they left a lot of guys on base.
Yeah, had a lot of chances Thursday night. Yes, he went, says Gabe Morales, and it's full 3-2.
Think he did? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's close though. Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Oh, now Bill Welke does not usually call those strikes. Brings up Souza on one that appeared to be below the strike zone.
You may remember in his first at bat, before tripling in a couple of runs, Souza tried to steal first base on what he thought was ball 4. Got back in the box and whacked one into the gap to drive in 2, but complaining about those last 2 strikes probably not going to do him any favors with Bill Welke in his next at bat.
Especially Bill. I know Bill pretty well. And,
You've been there before.
I had
you?
a really good experience with him in my first year in the big league.
What was that?
Well, I remember he was pitching. It was a good matchup. It was Mike Mussina for the Yankees against Livan Hernandez for Narsai. So I'm catching Livan, and he's not giving me those pitches off the plate, but he's giving it to Mussina. So I'm behind the plate, and I told Bill, I'm like, hey man, you know, like, you gotta give those pitches to my guy too. And you know what he says? You know what he said to me? He's like, you know, you talk too much. I'm like, I heard that before, but you still gotta call those pitches too, though.
2-0.
So you know, like last year, I saw him a couple times behind the plate, and we still talk about that.
Yeah.
So he's been pretty good. Like after that, he was pretty good behind the plate with me. So obviously after we had that, I came up to hit. I knew I had to swing the bat because he was going to rig me up.
2-0 on Nick Ahmed as we chat with Miguel Montero. After our alumni game, Miggy was one of the stars of the alumni game earlier today. In fact, I looked up and you were hitting a double. Here it is. That's the familiar swing right there.
That's a good one. The legs are not so familiar right there.
Send him in. Now that's when Gonzo was out at home and you wanted to
I think we need a
challenge.
replay there.
Now this is Gonzo coming around on your double.
We needed the replay there, though.
Not a great slide.
Yeah.
Let's challenge.
I want to challenge that one, yeah.
So Ahmed works a walk. Boy, that swing, though, it still looked nice and smooth, looked familiar.
It felt good. I mean, I felt good the swing. It's just the weight doesn't feel good.
I know how you feel.
The extra 20 pounds doesn't feel good.
It happens.
Well, I'm on a diet now.
You are?
Yeah. I got a challenge with my wife and my whole family. Like, so we're in a little challenge right now. So
who's winning?
I'm gonna win for sure, though.
Still competing.
Yeah.
Marte hit a monster home run his first time up in the fifth.
Yeah,
or in the first.
He went way up there. It was like J-up territory up there.
Watch this. 465 feet. That's tied for the 9th longest in the majors this year.
Wow. 112 miles an hour off the bat. That's a bomb.
That completed a 5-run Diamondback first, the 10th of the year for Ketel Marte.
He's a big boy, though. I saw him down there. I didn't realize he was that big of the. I mean, he's pretty built, though.
Now, do you go down and say hello and introduce yourself to current D-backs they haven't met yet?
I mean, if I see him, yeah. If I see him around, yeah. Like today, I actually met him. And, you know, I play a lot against a lot of other guys there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize he was...
He's a strong guy.
He's strong. He's pretty built.
He's got real power from both sides of the plate. We've seen that over the course of the last year and a half. Down here,
then when he started to figure it out, like the strike zone a little bit more, he's, you know, he's still pretty young. How old is he?
He's 24.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got time.
Well, it was great to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Miggy time is back.
All right, guys.
D-backs lead the Giants 5-1. Fans, tomorrow the premier Mexican soccer team Xolos de Tijuana returns to Fox Sports Arizona to take on Club Leon. Live soccer returns Sunday 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Our thanks to Kurt Schilling and Miguel Montero as we celebrate 20 years of D-backs baseball today. Nick Hundley, the Giants catcher, leads off the fourth against Clay Buchholz. D-backs with a 5-run first. Andrew McCutchen, a solo homer in the third, the only Giant run so far. Hundley walked his first time up. Struck out in his 2 at-bats last night. 250 on the year. Hundley always seems to be a tough out for the Diamondbacks. He's homered a dozen times in his career versus the D-backs. Of course, he's played a lot in the National League West with the Rockies, the Padres, now the Giants.
You know, partner, Miggy was mad at me for years.
What'd you do?
Well, I was managing the ball club. We played a couple of exhibition games in spring training down in Hermosillo, Mexico.
Sure. This is hit pretty well center field. AJ's there.
Well, it's customary. You know, you take your starting lineup and you figure out, okay, this guy's going to get 2 at-bats. He's going to get 1 at-bat and so forth and so on. We always need to take extra catchers. So we took Miguel Montero with us. Well, I think Miggy thought he was starting the game, first of all. And then when I didn't bring him in second, he got a little madder and he didn't get the pinch hit. He didn't get into the ball game at all. He just warmed up some pitchers in the bullpen and he wasn't happy about it.
What'd you tell him?
Hey, hang in there, Rook. You'll get your chance. Boy, did he ever.
Sure did. Here's Duggar, their center fielder. That curveball's worked really well for Clay Buchholz to open up some of these at-bats. He gets a lot of strike ones with it. He's a fun guy. I always enjoyed Miggy being around him. He was always laughing, talking.
Just never saw him have a bad day.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's just blessed that way. Buchholz at 70 pitches, 46 for strikes. He has walked 2, struck out 5 so far. Trying to ring him up on that fastball in. Welke didn't give him the call. It's 1-2.
And of course, the godfather of all catchers, Joe Garagiola Sr. Yeah, Miggy was one of his favorites, as you can imagine.
I bet. Duggar gets into one, pretty deep right field. Souza's at the wall, and there it goes. Steven Duggar's first major league home run, and it's 5-2. Only 19 games with the Giants this year. A 6th round pick out of Clemson 3 years ago, and he's got his first big league homer.
Big curveball from Clay Buchholz ends up in that danger zone, down and into a left-handed hitter. Nice quick swing by Duggar. A lot of wrists at the very end, and just does get it out of the reach of Steven Souza Jr.
I think we got silent treatment going on here. They got to retrieve the souvenir, and there's the big welcome. Here's the pitcher, Suarez. So McCutchen homers in the 3rd. Now Duggar in the 4th. 5-2 ball game. Tap to shortstop for Nick Ahmed. Buchholz had given up only 5 homers in 9 starts coming into tonight, but he's given up 2 here in 2 innings. 2 down from McCutchen, who homered his last time up.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling can empathize with Clay Buchholz. Schill used to give up a lot of solo home runs too.
Well, they always say solo homers don't beat you.
Don't beat you.
But they can make it interesting. McCutchen 2 for 2 with a single and a homer. D-backs have 3 infielders on the 3rd base side against McCutchen. Cut fastball is strike 1. Rockies in Milwaukee trailing 8-2. The Brewers lead bottom 7 at Miller Park. Astros and Dodgers just underway in LA. No score in the 1st. D-backs and Dodgers dead even atop the NL West at 61-50.
Kenta Maeda against Lance McCullers in that game at Dodger Stadium. Bottom of the 1st right now.
I think the Dodgers may see a breaking ball or 2 tonight.
Might.
That's McCullers' specialty. Buchholz trying to get out of the 4th. No, we didn't, says Gabe Morales. Full count 3-2. Gorky Hernandez on deck. Souza coming in, long run. Souza will have to play it on a hop. Souza being a little extra careful, and probably a good idea to do so. Not diving for balls in the outfield, just trying to stay healthy after what happened a couple of times earlier this year.
And that little blooper right there by McCutchen, you could possibly attribute it to the shift as well. There was no second baseman in the vicinity. Ketel Marte was on the left side of second base. Had a long way to go. Steven Souza Jr., the only defender that possibly had a play on that ball, and even he couldn't get there in time.
You want to keep these guys healthy, and there's not much to be gained by laying out on every diving catch attempt. So here's Hernandez now, 0-2. He's popped up, he's grounded out. McCutchen still runs. He's got 9 stolen bases. That part of his game not nearly the threat it used to be back in the heydays of Pittsburgh. Buchholz has had some long innings here. He's not been quite as efficient tonight as we're used to seeing. 80 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th. That's by Escobar and down the line. Peralta gets to it. McCutchen will stop at third. It's a double for Gorkys Hernandez.
Rolling curveball on the 1-0 count, just hoping to steal a strike right there, expecting Hernandez to be looking fastball, but instead he rips that curveball down into the left field corner, just past a diving Eduardo Escobar.
And now he'll deal with Evan Longoria. Mike Butcher out to the mound. Longoria hit a long fly ball to deep right center his last time up for a double. 2 outs. Giants with runners at second and third.
One thing, this is a very small thing in the game, but the Diamondbacks do it extremely well. Runner at first base, a base hit into the left field corner. A lot of left fielders will get to that ball and try to throw the lead runner out at third base, allowing the batter runner to make it to second. They seemingly always throw to the right base, and part of that is because Nick Ahmed and Ketel Marte, the middle infielders, are pointing where the ball should go as they run out into a cutoff position. You rarely see the Diamondbacks outfielders throw to the wrong base.
One of the best defensive teams in baseball. So some work to do here for Buchholz. Second and third, 2 down. Here's Longoria, 1 for 2. And again, a first pitch curveball. That one missed. 1-0. Longoria has now hit safely in 7 straight games. 4 hits in the series. Astros have taken the early lead at Dodger Stadium, 1-0. They're in the second. Rockies trailing in Milwaukee 8-2. They're in the 7th at Miller Park.
Marwin Gonzalez solo home run for the Astros to give them a 1-0 lead over the Dodgers early.
We'll take it. Another curveball. Buchholz has really favored that curveball here tonight. He's thrown a whole bunch. And more often than not for strikes. Changeup had Longoria tied up in knots. 2-2. Crawford would be next. Just got a piece. Emergency hack at the cut fastball. Really got Longoria off balance here. Oh boy, changeup, and Longoria caught looking. Buchholz strands 2. Giants get one back. It's 5-2 Diamondbacks. Day for your chance to earn one of the many unique D-backs experiences like this one right here. These fans are watching the game from the cabanas in the Coors Light Strike Zone. That's a great spot up there. You can download the Coors Light XP Rewards app, sign up, and earn. It's that easy, and you can be enjoying a game in a cabana at the Coors Light Strike Zone right here at Chase Field. Jeff Mathis leads off the bottom of the fourth against rookie lefty Andrew Suarez. Mathis struck out his first time up.
Well, if you have a pool, you've got to have cabanas.
And cabana boys to attend to your needs.
Kind of a rule.
Run and get you drinks, whatever you need. Jeff Mathis not behind the plate last night with Patrick Corbin, as has been the usual combo lately. And Mathis has got a base hit. He rolls it into left center. D-backs last night, like the Alex Avila left-hand bat, matched up against Chris Stratton. And it also gave them a chance tonight to pair up Mathis with Clay Buchholz and see how that works out. Jerry Naron got the win as the acting manager last night. Buchholz will bat for himself here. He's at 87 pitches in the ball game through 4 innings. Chance to lay down a bunt, move Mathis along. And he gets it down. Suarez picks it up. They go to second for 1. And that's it. They eliminate the lead runner. Let's go down to Jody.
Well, guys, we know David Peralta's been on a tear of late, and with a single in the first inning, a part of that big 5-run first. You know, it's interesting with David. He's talked about his evolution as a hitter, and he's just waiting for that mistake, being more patient, being more selective with his pitches. And the other thing he mentioned that was kind of interesting is that he didn't like being out of the lineup, but maybe admitting a little bit that it was good to rest that shoulder, be fully healthy, and I see we're seeing really what that's doing for him at the plate right now.
Yeah, they're big, Jody, as you know, on getting these guys rest over the course of the long season. But I think the Governors are going to come off in another week or two here. And it'll be all hands on deck from about the middle of this month through the end of September. And a dead heat right now with LA atop the division. So important, if you're going to do that, to get these guys some rest right now while you can. Certainly seems to have worked wonders for David. Boy, almost had another base hit, and they'll double off Buchholz. We head to the 5th. It's 5-2 D-backs. He's in Milwaukee. It's the mayor of Ding Dong City, Travis Shaw, with a first inning grand slam. And the Brewers are all over the Rockies. It's 8-2 in the 8th inning at Miller Park.
One of the worst nicknames I've ever heard.
Yeah, it kind of grows on you after a while. You don't like it? The mayor of Ding Dong City.
Come up with something better than that. Come on, Counts.
I just passed these along. I know. There's the score from Milwaukee, 8-2. The Rockies are trailing. Dodgers losing at home. Marwin Gonzalez, a home run for the Astros. Houston has a 1-0 lead. They're in the second inning. Right here at Chase Field, it's 5-2 Diamondbacks over the Giants, and Clay Buchholz at 87 pitches out there to start the fifth. It'll be Brandon Crawford, Austin Slater, and Joe Panik 4, 5, and 6 for San Francisco. Crawford so far 0 for 2. You struck out twice. They had a Mayor of Ding Dong City bobblehead day. In fact, they liked the nickname so much earlier this year. We just missed it. That was
darn
one of the unfortunate circumstances of our schedule. Crawford, Ahmed, shift is on, 1 out. You were lucky. Everybody just called you BB. You had kind of the built-in nickname. Other guys, you have to get a little more convoluted.
I've told the story in the past when Brett Butler came to the San Francisco Giants late in his career. He walked into the clubhouse and shaking hands and meeting new teammates, and Mike Krukow asked him, "What do people call you?" BB. "Oh no, that's already taken. Come up with something else." So he became Bugsy in the Giants clubhouse.
Yeah, BB's better. There's Slater. So far, they've contained the damage against Slater. A strikeout and a walk. There's strike one. Another first pitch curveball. Buchholz has done that all game long. Slater 4 hits, 4 RBIs in the series. 9 for 15 against the D-backs this year. Got that fastball down and in, and it's 0-2. Little test flight today for the Mathis-Buchholz combo. So far, so good. Oh, there's the changeup, and Buchholz has his 7th strikeout.
When he throws that changeup on the 2-strike count, it's devastating. Started with a curveball for a called strike, a hard fastball down and in, and then that Bugs Bunny changeup at 77 on the outer third of the plate. Not much Slater could do about that one.
We've seen some good hitters like Slater. Longoria takes some horrendous swings against that changeup. Here's Panik, who has doubled and grounded out. Here's the changeup right there. Uses that to steal strike one. Fly ball pretty deep left center. Pollock and Peralta. David's got it. A quick 1-2-3-5 for Clay Buchholz. He leads at 5-2. 5th here against the Giants. Fans, MLB.TV now available at a lower price, $82.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game, either live or on demand. And it includes MLB at Bat Premium. That lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Now you've got your basic blackout and your basic other restrictions. Those do apply. So check out MLB.TV and take advantage of this special offer. 20 years of D-backs baseball, a tremendous display up in the ballpark here this year. Everybody that comes out should check that out. They did a wonderful job with it. There's the big unit. It's a walk through Diamondback history.
I love the wall of autographed baseballs.
Yeah, it's really neat. Did a wonderful job out there.
You walk through there, and I tried to find my own. It took a while, but much later I realized there's a key over to the side. You can go and pick your player that you're looking for. It'll tell you exactly where the baseball is.
See, you got to read the directions before you put it together. There it is. Yeah, that's a really cool thing. Look at that. That's neat.
Yeah, there's only maybe a dozen, 2 dozen at the most of former players that aren't up on that wall.
That's one of the great features we opened up at the ballpark this year to celebrate 20 years of Diamondback history. All on display for free here at Chase Field. It's like when you go to Cooperstown, you know, only like 5 or 10% of all the stuff they have is on display at one time. Now, I've been lucky enough to get the White Glove tour, where they take into the temperature controlled vault where everything is kept. Escobar into center. And it's amazing how much stuff they have there in Cooperstown, and only a small percentage of it is on display at one given time. But here at Chase Field, it's all right there for you. So far, so good for Goldie. He's walked and singled. He scored a run. And that 5-run Diamondback first. Left the fastball in a bad spot, but Goldie missed it. 0-1. Goldie has homered 4 times against the Giants this year, including last night. The 200th of his career. Here's a look at the Giant defense. Again, that right side of the infield wide open for Goldie. High fly ball deep to left center. Duggar is there.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
AJ 0 for 2. AJ with a couple of singles in the series so far. He's got a 5-game hit streak going. Diamondbacks again falling into their habit of putting up a whole bunch of runs very early in the ball game and then just crickets the rest of the way. They have had their chances after the 5-run first tonight. A couple of runners on in the 3rd, a leadoff single in the 4th, a leadoff single here in the 5th, but no run since the 1st. Suarez now at 70 pitches. 45 strikes. He has walked 2. He's got 3 strikeouts. Don't make it 4. Is it because Escobar is essentially filling in for Jake Lamb that they keep throwing over there? It's happened before, and he's only got 1 stolen base all year. But they sure pay an awful lot of attention to him.
Well, the general direction that baseball is headed, the pickoff attempt at first base might become obsolete. Why do you have to hold anybody on if nobody ever runs?
You know, that could get interesting because eventually maybe you run out of well, he's only got 7 pickoff throws left. Pretty soon he can get in these monster leads. Bullpen starts to get busy. Mike Fetter's the bullpen coach down there with Brad Ziegler, who starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Brad, when he starts to warm up, throws overhand. He doesn't immediately come out and start firing from knuckles right off the ground. He'll throw overhand for a while just to get loose, and then he'll drop down. Well, right now just plain catch. Two balls and 1 strike on A.J. Pollock. Escobar at first, 1 out. Good curveball from Suarez.
I think Brad Ziegler has thrown some pitches from that 3/4 arm angle over the last couple of years. You know, he's so predictable with that submarine delivery, the heavy sinking fastball and the frisbee slider. He's incorporated a changeup. I think I remember in the last couple of years, every now and again, especially a lengthy at bat where there's a lot of foul balls, I've seen him go up to 3/4 and throw a more traditional pitch.
Good hard slider. That's a very good pitch for Suarez, and he gets a strikeout, his 5th of the ball game.
Byung-Hyun Kim, who was a sidearm pitcher and closed for us back in 01, 02. BK every now and then would get creative out there on the mound and want to throw an overhand curveball. Well, the rest of his stuff was unhittable. I could never figure out why he thought he needed to throw a 3rd pitch, but he wanted to break it out in the World Series. Hadn't thrown one all season long. He wanted to throw an overhand curveball. Damian Miller had to go out to the mound and talk him out of it.
Well, Souza still barking at Bill Welke, the crew chief and the plate umpire, after he was rung up on a strike 3 call in the 3rd. His previous at bat. It's a fly ball deep to center field. Steven Souza Jr. It's off the home run porch. Here comes Escobar. He will score, and it's 6-2. He just missed a home run. Souza already with a 2-run triple. He's got an RBI double. He's really driving the ball now.
Well, maybe a little anger with that swing. A couple of borderline pitches have gone against Steven Souza Jr. in this game. He just figured, I'm not going to let it get to a 2-strike count. I'm going to hit the first thing I see close to the zone, and he bangs that one just below the yellow line out there on the home run porch.
He has tripled, doubled, and knocked in 3 runs today. Hundley going to go out and have a word with Suarez as Nick Ahmed steps up. Boy, for Souza, that's now 10 extra base hits and 13 RBIs in his last 17 games. Ahmed has an RBI single. He's walked. Nick continues to swing a hot bat. There's that changeup from Suarez. Nick now with a 5-game hitting streak. He has doubled in 3 consecutive games. Fastball away, 1-1. Getting busy down at the D-back bullpen. Now the left-hander Andrew Chafin joins the righty Brad Ziegler in the Sanderson Ford pen. Andrew just became a dad this week, back from paternity leave. This is one of those days where we urge you to participate in our 50-50 charity raffle. Go to dbacks.com/50-50 raffle The jackpot right now is approaching $55,000. And BB has already bought tickets for all of us. Wait, what? Just you?
Just me. And my staff. As always, I promised them I'd split it with them, but I have no intention of doing that.
Yeah, I got a really big crowd here tonight. They've been here all afternoon. Big turnout for the alumni game. Better than 38,000 with us here. It's been a really fun day. Alumni game, very entertaining. The introduction of the 20th anniversary team went off without a hitch. A tremendous celebration of D-backs baseball. And the ball game so far so good. 6-2 here in the 5th. And to top it off, the Rockies are losing and the Dodgers are losing. So it's good to be a D-back right now.
Well, Rob Manfred would have to be extremely pleased with the alumni game today. Very few strikeouts, if any. No walks, no homers. A lot of balls put into play.
We need that.
Weekly.
Well, got to start somewhere or finish in this case. The Red Sox did it to the Yankees again, 4-1. Mitch Moreland had a home run in that ball game. Boy, the Red Sox just about ready to run away and hide from New York in the AL East.
8.5 games up after the victory today.
Man. Ooh, pretty good fastball in there. Suarez did not get the call from Bill Welke. And it's 2-2 on Nick. Marte, who homered in the first, would be next. Marte's home run, 465 feet. That one skips away from Hundley, and Souza moves into third. A slider in the dirt from Suarez.
It was kind of a backhanded swipe at that ball from Nick Hundley. Doesn't shift his weight, doesn't get over and try to block it, just tried to pick it out of the dirt like a first baseman would, and it gets far enough away for Souza to advance on to third. Do it again.
D-backs have out hit the Giants 8-7. They lead at 6-2. Steven down there at third with 2 outs. Full count on Ahmed. Ahmed, fly ball, left field. Get out of here. Well, that one was caught, but on the other end of it was Brad Ziegler in the D-back bullpen. And that's the 15th for Nick.
Boy, Nick running hard out of the box. He caught it out near the end of the bat a little bit. Wasn't sure if he had enough to sneak it over that fence, but he does. Nice play by Brad Ziegler out there. Boy, how about the 2-out runs last night? 4 of the 6 runs the Diamondbacks scored came with 2 outs. Tonight, all 8 have come with 2 outs in the inning.
Unbelievable. Second D-back homer after Marte homered with 2 outs in that 5-run first. But part of me just wants to fast forward to the end of the year just so I can see what Nick Ahmed's stats are going to look like, because he is headed to a career season at the plate. It's really come together for Nick. Base hit for Marte, bangs it into left. 3 consecutive hits, all with 2 outs. Well, here comes Kurt Young, Giants pitching coach. Slow walk to the mound to visit with his rookie left-hander, who's given up 8 runs on 10 hits in less than 5 innings.
You ever notice there's very few coaches or managers in Major League Baseball when they walk out to the mound that don't have a limp?
Well,
of some kind.
Guys get old.
Yeah, new knees, new hips.
Yeah, these guys really slow things down at airports. You know, you got alarms going
Setting off alarms all over the place.
Mathis singled his last time. Well, I say this, Suarez, when he came in here a month ago, he looked pretty impressive, a rookie left-hander. Diamondbacks had seen him in April in San Francisco, but he came in here a month ago and was really solid. 1 run, 6 innings. He got his 3rd win of the year, but he's regressed here tonight. D-backs have been all over him. 1-2 on Mathis. I remember thinking, boy, the Giants got something here with this young left-hander. He looked good last time.
Yeah, we saw Suarez followed by Rodriguez the game after. Both those guys looked really good.
Yeah, Giants have another left-hander going tomorrow. The veteran Derek Holland up against Robbie Ray. That's a 1-10 start, the series finale. Then the Phillies are in here Monday for the first of 3. Giants bullpen starting to get busy. They've got some help down there. Had to call up a couple of guys. Mathis skies one to deep center for Duggar. D-backs tack on 3 more. They lead it 8-2. Marwin Gonzalez, Kenta Maeda left one up there in the 2nd inning, and Gonzalez drove it over the head of Taylor in center. They're in the 4th right now. They just went to the 4th. It's 1-0 Houston over the Dodgers.
My new favorite player in the National League, Marwin Gonzalez.
Did you have him for beat the streak?
No.
No.
But I did have 2 Astros tonight.
They only got to get going. They only got 2 hits. Rockies are trailing in Milwaukee 8-4. They're in the 9th inning at Miller Park. Torey Lovullo's D-backs tied with the Dodgers for the NL West lead. Both teams 61-50 on the year. Clay Buchholz back out there to start the 6th inning, coming off a 6-pitch 5th. Buchholz right now with 93 pitches, 62 for strikes. He has walked 2 and struck out 7, and he's facing the lower 3rd of the Giants order here in the 6th.
This could be one of those innings where if Clay Buchholz allows a base runner before there's 2 outs in the inning, you might see Torey go to the bullpen. Both guys that were warming up before are just standing down there on the bullpen mound now waiting to see action. That's Jake Diekman on the left, the left-hander, taking Andrew Chafin's place in the bullpen.
Yeah, Ziegler's been up for a while now, but you can see Brad, he knows what he's doing. He sort of parses out his warm-up throws. Hundley, who has walked and flat out, leads it off. First pitch curveball. Buchholz has done that pretty much all night long. And one missed. Ron Wotus at third.
Ron Wotus and I were teammates briefly here in Phoenix.
Really? Oh, Phoenix Giants?
Actually, I signed with the Blue Jays in 1989, got released in July, re-signed with the Giants, and they initially sent me here to Phoenix to get some at-bats, to play some games, and I found myself playing third base quite a bit. And Ron Wotus was an infielder, so I had to borrow his glove to play third base.
He's playing third tier today.
Yeah, worked a lot better for him than it did for me.
I was going to say, they saw you at third and they liked what they saw and they needed to bring you back.
He was one of those guys, you can sense it when you're on a team and you get to know your teammates and what makes them tick, and are they paying attention, are they learning anything about the game. Ron Wotus was one of those guys I felt was going to be a good manager someday. He kind of got pigeonholed as a bench coach here for a long time with Boch. Moves out to third base this year, but Ron Wotus has interviewed for a number of managers' openings, and hopefully someday he'll get his chance.
He's got an impeccable resume, that's for sure. A whole bunch of World Series rings down there with Lance Barrett, the third base umpire. I think Barrett may be on him about where he's standing in the box, or not in the box.
With a right-handed pull hitter at the plate, he wants to get as far away from the ball as he possibly can.
Ball's trying to find him too. That's the thing. 1-2 on Hundley. There's the chopper in the hole. Ahmed, it's just so remarkable. He makes it look so easy. He is so fluid and effortless out there.
And he doesn't need to set his feet. I mean, a lot of shortstops would have to gather, plant that right foot, step toward their target, and then make the throw. And you might still get the guy at first base, but Nick has that amazing ability to throw on the run, throw off the wrong foot, throw while he's backing up, and still put something on it right on the money.
Yeah, there's a really interesting article on the Athletic website right now by Zach Buchanan about how Nick, coming up in the minor leagues, learned to throw like that on the run. Andy Green was the guy that got him to do that instead of worrying about setting his feet all the time. Marte at second. Duggar grounds out.
9 first pitch curveballs in the ball game for Clay Buchholz. 4 of them have either been put into play or swung at or taken for a strike.
Well, he's now retired 6 in a row, and Hunter Pence will hit for the pitcher Suarez. Pence 222 and a homer. He's got a single and an RBI in the series. He started in left field last night. There's another first pitch curveball. That one just off the corner. 1-0. Pence 5 for 22 as a pinch hitter this year. That's a .227 batting average. Big cutter to cutter. 1-1. Hunter Pence now 35. And in the final season of that 5-year $90 million deal he signed with the Giants, he's been a Giant for a while now, and this might be it at the age of 35. Primarily a bench player these days. A lot of injuries for Hunter Pence over the last couple of years, and what has been a remarkable career. There's that curveball. Guys like Hunter Pence are good for the game. You need quirky guys who are really, really good players who do things just a little differently.
Well, he definitely does things a little differently, even the way he wears his pants.
There's the cutter. Buchholz completes 6 innings with 8 strikeouts and an 8-2 lead. Buckles, who has retired the last 7 he's faced. He's got through 6 with a lead here. Attention all kids between the ages of 10 and 16. If you want to be part of the D-backs telecast, get to interview a player, go behind the scenes and see what it takes to produce a baseball game. Come on out tomorrow to Chase Field, Fox Sports Arizona, Sanderson Ford. Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30 here at the Sandlot during our D-backs Giants game. The final Kidcaster audition for 2018. Here's Johnson on, the right-hander, to start the bottom of the 6th inning as John Jay hits for Clay Buchholz. John Jay, 280 and 3 homers. That is foul down the right field line. Giants brought up a couple of arms from their bullpen, which is gassed right now. Kelby Tomlinson and Chris Stratton sent down to AAA Sacramento after the game last night. So they had to bring up some fresh relief arms for Bruce Bochy. Here's Johnson, his 4th recall this year, up from AAA Sacramento. 28 games for the Giants, an ERA 5 3/4. He's been closing games at times for Sacramento this year. They brought up Johnson. They brought up Derek Law. 2-2 on John Jay. And he get caught looking at a curveball. 1 down.
We talked about Pierce Johnson earlier this season. He was a high draft pick by the Cubs, was one of their highly thought of prospects in that Cubs system, that was just flat released in the middle of September back in 2017. I assume it was because of roster issues that the Cubs had at that time, either with the 40-man or the 25-man. They just cut him loose. The Giants picked him up.
David Peralta 1 for 3. He singled and scored in that 5-run Diamondback first. There's that curveball again from Johnson. 0-1. David 8 hits and 12 at bats in the series. He's just dropping that curveball in there one after another. It's 0-2.
It's really been a good day for the bottom of the D-backs order today. The 5, 6, and 7 batters in the lineup combined 6 for 8 with a couple of homers, a triple, a double. They've driven in all 8 runs.
How about that, huh? Late time granted by Bill Welke. Yeah, Souza has a 2-run triple and an RBI double. Ahmed has an RBI single and a 2-run homer. Marte has a single and a 2-run homer. Murderer's row 5, 6, and 7 here for Torey Lovullo this evening. 0-2 on Peralta. Another curveball from Johnson. center. McCutcheon's got to get over there. Duggar on the run. And he made the catch. He held on. What a running, rolling grab by Steven Duggar in deep right center field.
We'll take another look here. With the naked eye, I thought that ball popped out of his glove.
Tony Randazzo, the second base umpire, ran out there, waited. Yeah, he held on.
Yeah, nice play. I thought it popped out of his glove there. I don't even think Duggar was looking at the ball. He was looking at Andrew McCutcheon as he stuck his glove out there. Just caught it in the webbing of the glove and then re-gripped it for the out. That's a nice play.
A highlight reel catch by Duggar, who back in the fourth inning tonight hit his first major league homer. A tremendous running, rolling grab. 2 down now for Escobar, who singled and scored in the fifth.
Well, I was watching McCutcheon the entire time. I didn't think Duggar had a chance from where he started on that ball. He really closed ground quickly.
He's the guy that they noticed in spring training gets tremendous jumps on balls from the outfield, covers a ton of ground in center. That's something that Hunter Pence was talking about this spring in Scottsdale. This guy can really go get it.
Boy, the ability to cover ground is at a premium at AT&T. If you're playing center field in that ballpark, you better be ready to cover some ground.
Yeah. So we might see a lot of Duggar down the road here. That's what Buster Posey had noticed as well. First thing that stands out about Duggar is his range in the outfield. And we just saw why. 2 balls and a strike on Eduardo Escobar. No, we didn't, says Lance Barrett. 3-1. Goldie on deck. Three-2 is lifted to short left center. Hernandez coming in. And Johnson works a 1-2-3 6th. It's 8-2 Diamondbacks. Eight to 2, they lead the Giants. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. The series finale tomorrow, 1:10 start. Lefty Derek Holland for the Giants against left-hander Robbie Ray for the Diamondbacks. D-backs live pregame show at 12:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. A tremendous finish to his outing for Clay Buchholz, who had a 6-pitch fifth and 11-pitch sixth. He set down the final 7 he faced, and he gives way to Brad Ziegler to start the 7th. McCutchen will lead it off. He has singled twice and homered. Remember, Bill Welke, traditionally not a low strike umpire. Ball 1 to McCutchen. This is bounced through into right field, and Andrew McCutchen's 4 for 4.
Left fielder, Hernandez.
Gorkys Hernandez doubled in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. It was interesting the way Torey Lovullo, Bob, let Clay Buchholz finish out the 5th and 6th. Buchholz was at 87 pitches through 4. And at that point, it was only a 5-2 ball game. But he sent Clay back out there for the 5th and the 6th. And it was bang, bang. See if they can turn it. Ahmed, Marte. Hey, roll it. Welcome back, Brad Ziegler. That's a Ziegler special right there.
I almost get the feeling Brad likes a leadoff hit so he can turn a double play to the next batter. Ground ball right to Nick Ahmed. Hard hit. Easy turn at second for Marte. Only the speed of Gorkys Hernandez made that close at first base.
I think you may be onto something there.
Yeah, just intentionally walked the leadoff hitter.
Longoria doubled in the 3rd, 1 for 3.
It's just remarkable. Among relief pitchers, active leaders in double plays, Brad Ziegler now has induced 136 double plays. Jim Johnson is next on the list at 98. Boy, know your strengths, know what you're good at, and do it every day. Every day. Pound that sinker down in the zone. Get those ground balls. Let your defense work behind you.
Well, that's what he's done, and it got him a spot on the D-backs 20th anniversary team, honored before the game today. There's another ground ball. That one's by a diving Ahmed. And Longoria has a 2-out single.
And that's the curse of a sinker ball pitcher right there. You get the ground ball you're looking for. Unfortunately, just out of the reach of Nick Ahmed. Sneaks through into center field. That's usually the kind of base hits Brad Ziegler gives up when he is giving up base hits. Ground balls that find holes.
Well, the left-hander Crawford is coming up. Torey Lovullo out to the mound. Jake Diekman was warming up earlier in the ball game. And we'll bring in the lefty here. Here comes Diekman. We take a break. Giants 8-2. Fans 2019 season tickets on sale right now. You can secure the best seats for the lowest price. Lock in benefits like postseason priority. Access to player events, discounts on merchandise, and a whole lot more. Call 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com/tickets. Lefty Jake Diekman out there to get the final out of the 7th inning, hopefully, against the left-hander Brandon Crawford. Crawford 0 for 3 tonight. Longoria, the runner at first, 2 outs. High ball pushes Peralta back to the track and left. So the Ziegler-Diekman combo, a nice bounce-back appearance. We stretch at Chase. It's 8-2. Goldie leads it off, and the D-backs will host ASU and U of A nights at Chase Field. Get a custom ASU or U of A cap and a discounted baseline reserve ticket for $25 with our special event ticket pack. I have the Sun Devil version on. BB is modeling the U of A cap. ASU night August 21, U of A September 6. You get the cap, you get the ticket, $25. Pretty good deal.
I can't put it on. My daughter graduated from ASU, but
oh well, here
for all the Wildcat fans out there, we got you covered.
I didn't know there were conditions. I would have taken the other one.
Well, usually you have to arm wrestle Todd Walsh to get the U of A hat anyway.
I'm surprised he didn't come up here and steal it already. Goldie has walked in single tonight. I got to tell you, this is a pretty sharp looking hat.
Yeah, nice. Snap back, is that what they call that in the back there? Adjustable, fits
yeah,
anybody's
one
dome.
size fits all.
Yeah, maybe not Bochy, but everybody else.
Oh, well,
got a big head.
It's 2-1. Base hit for Goldie. There's something about the leadoff man in this ball game. Let's see, leadoff singles in the 1st, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and now the 7th for the D-backs. Here's AJ. It's a final at Miller Park. The Rockies lose again. Travis Shaw had a grand slam for the Brewers. Milwaukee beat Colorado 8-4. Dodgers still trailing at home. It's still 1-0 Astros. They're in the 5th in LA. Here it's 8-2 D-backs in the 7th. Big crowd here tonight. Better than 38,000 with us as we celebrate the Diamondbacks' 20th anniversary. I'm always impressed because you got to get here early and it's a long day for folks, but Boy, the crowd we had today, Bob, for the alumni game. I mean, this place was about half full. It was remarkable.
And they were into it.
Oh, yeah. It was fun. A lot of folks turned out. It's just a great call to have that on a Saturday. So you play the alumni game around 2:30 before a 5 o'clock start. So it's not too long a day, but it's a really fun day to be at the ballpark. Gonzo, he looked good. Gonzo came up first at bat, roped one down the line and right into the corner for a double. Thought for a moment it might be a really long single the way he ran, but it worked out.
He's just now catching his breath.
Loosely call it running. Take a look. Here's Gonzo in the alumni game. This was after Webby came out in the first inning. He just pokes it down the line.
Scooped it.
Made it all the way to second. A lot of our broadcast crew is down there. Rodrigo Lopez, who's working the game right now with Oscar Soria on Fox Sports Arizona Plus. How about Rodrigo fielding his position?
Wow. Watch out, Zach Greinke. He might steal that gold glove.
There he is.
Todavía con buenos reflejos, buenas manos ahí en la loma de los.
Oscar Soria, Rodrigo Lopez, our Spanish language broadcast tonight. Fox Sports Arizona Plus. Find your Plus channel listings at foxsportsarizona.com. And we talked about Webby already. We had the gun on Webby tonight. We clocked him, I believe, as high as 76.
They all registered as curveballs, even though they were mostly sankers.
He was the tannest guy out there. 2-2 on AJ.
Yeah, Webby did have an appearance in the ball game after he came out as a pitcher. He ended up playing left field for an inning.
And here it is, Webby in left field.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I don't got it.
Oh no. Oh, come on, Webby.
Oh.
He's hiding now. No. Todd's trying. Nice try, Todd. Well, we did show him getting his 2 outs earlier, so all's fair. This is headed for the right field corner. And foul.
Well, all the alums seem to have a real good time today coming out and playing the alumni game in the spirit that it's meant to be. But I'll tell you something. You go down those 2 dugouts before the game and say the loser has to buy beer. You'll see guys breaking up double plays and knocking hitters down. Give them a reason to play and they will still get after it.
Sometimes pride's not enough. Not at this age. Souza on deck. 8th pitch of the at-bat to AJ coming up here. Souza's had a big night. Lays off that breaking ball, and now it's full 3-2. So pitch number 9 to Pollock on the way from Johnson. Goldie on the run. Another foul ball by AJ. Fastball down low. D-backs put up 5 in the first for the 2nd night in a row. Only the 2nd time in franchise history they've had at least 5 runs in the first inning in back-to-back games. They actually did it last year at San Diego, May 19th and 20th. D-backs 92 first inning runs. That's the most in the major leagues. They added 3 in the 5th. Only off of the pitch one more time. That's a called strike 3, and that's a strike him out, throw him out.
The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
So quickly, bases empty, 2 down. Souza has been a force. A 2-run triple in that 5-run first. And then an RBI double in that 3-run 50. Just missed a home run off the front of the home run porch in right center. Ball was absolutely clubbed. Fastballs at the knees, a strike 0-1. Curveballs worked out pretty well for Johnson tonight. 0-2.
Yeah, he throws it very hard in the low 80s. Most curveballs roll up there in the mid to upper 70s. Johnson a little extra cheese on that curveball.
Throws it a whole bunch. At least he has tonight. Good take by Steven. 1-2. Trying to get him to chase one just off the edge of the corner. Fastball up. Bill Welke says no. 2-2. Big night for Nick Ahmed. Nick would be next. He has an RBI single and a 2-run homer. Out to right. McCutchen is there. Through 7. D-backs lead the Giants 8-2. Is big. They got all kinds of stuff in there. The selection is tremendous. And also, don't forget, if you can't watch the D-backs games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. There you go. Take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. I love going in there. Usually once a homestand, they get new stuff in all the time.
Well, that young lady shopping in the team store there apparently fouled a ball off her left ankle in the game last night. There's a guard on.
Well, you can never be too careful. Right-hander Matt Andriese is on to start the 8th inning against Austin Slater. D-backs have kept Slater out of the hit column. He's walked and struck out twice. Already with 4 hits and 4 RBIs in the series. Slater at first base. Still no Brandon Belt. He's on the DL, but coming off soon with a right knee problem. And so here's Slater with a 5-game hit streak on the line. A lot of people thought when Andrew Chafin came off paternity leave and the D-backs had to make a roster move carrying an extra pitcher, they might, and the emphasis is on might, think about sending Matt Andriese down to Reno because he has options. One of the few guys who has options back there. They're limited in their flexibility in that regard, but they've decided to keep Matt here, and Chris Owings went to AAA. As the D-backs carry that extra pitcher, got a long stretch of games coming up here. So a chance for Matt Andriese to work out some of the kinks. There's a fastball for a strike, 2-2. Joe Panik on deck. Nick Hundley after that. There's that sort of cut changeup that Andriese has, and Slater swings over the top.
Second baseman, Joe Panik.
Well, that's a good pitch. The hitters just aren't used to seeing a right-handed changeup move away from them. If any movement at all, usually it's back in and down to a right-handed hitter, but Andriese is almost like a changeup slider, moving away from the right-handed hitter.
Yeah, that's the movement you see from Zach Greinke all the time on his changeup, which drops dramatically down and in toward the right-hand batter. Andriese's works kind of like a changeup cutter. Panik doubled in the second. He's 1 for 3. Well, that Marwin Gonzalez home run in LA is still holding up. It's still 1-0 Astros. 6th inning now at Dodger Stadium. Rockies 8-4 losers in Milwaukee. Travis Shaw had a grand slam for the Brewers. Deep to center. A.J. Peralta runs it down almost in center field. David running well over from left to get that one. It's a big outfield here in Phoenix.
Well, you know where your teammates are. A.J. Pollock that time was shaded a little bit to right center field for Joe Panik. He had a long way to go to catch up to that fly ball. It was slicing off the bat of a left-handed hitter, working its way back toward David Peralta, and he just never quit on it.
Nick Hundley. He has walked, flat out, grounded out, 0 for 2. Nick Ahmed. And Andriese, a 1-2, 3/8. It's 8-2 Diamondbacks. For the Diamondbacks, who lead the Giants 8-2. Let's go back to the 5th. Here is Ahmed, his 15th of the year. Our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game. A nice catch by Brad Ziegler in the D-back bullpen. Boy, Nick is on a roll offensively. If you count tonight, Nick in his last 30 games has 17 extra base hits and 24 RBIs.
Wow. That's production.
Derek Law, the right-hander, called up today from AAA Sacramento. On to start the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Ahmed, Marte, and Mathis, 6, 7, and 8 for the Diamondbacks. Bruce Bochy got Johnson and Law, a couple of right-hand bullpen arms up from AAA Sacramento for this game, and has used both of them tonight. It's a tired Giant bullpen back there, something to keep in mind for tomorrow. Derek Holland versus Robbie Ray in the series finale tomorrow. Then the Phillies are in here for the first of 3 on Monday. Phillies home this weekend. They are hosting Miami. Philadelphia won 8-3 today. Trying to hold off the Braves in the National League East. Braves 3-0 losers at Citi Field in New York. Mets beat them. Fly ball, deep left field. It's gone. Nick Ahmed's second home run tonight. And it's 9-2.
Middle of the plate slider might have even backed up a little bit right onto the barrel of Nick Ahmed's bat, and he rides it out of here to left field. His second bomb of the day.
And his 4th RBI. A jumbo jack, another one. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. A jack in the box with the purchase of a large drink. Here's Ketel Marte, who hit a 465-foot homer in the 1st. Tied for the 9th longest in baseball this year. Right to Crawford at shortstop.
Catcher, Jeff Mathis.
Here's Mathis. 1 for 3 with a single.
I keep forgetting. I'm going to have to make a point to thank Jeff Mathis for his walk-up music. Chris Stapleton, Midnight Train to Memphis. I heard it, you know, early in the season. I thought, geez, that sounds relatively easy to play, and indeed it is.
So you've learned it.
Yeah.
So it's got 1 chord?
No, it's got a few.
You're good about that. You stay on top of these guys with the music. You go back there, get feedback on it, selections. And
I always wonder what's the genesis of it. Why is that your walk-up music? Sometimes it's because they heard that song when they had a great game at the minor leagues or something like that, or it's a song that was playing on prom night. You know, whatever. They all have their reasons for the music they play coming up to the plate. Found out from Alex Avila he uses the white stripes because he met Jack White when he was playing for the Tigers in Detroit. Jack White was living in Detroit at the time.
Well, Alex Avila's out there in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot is up next for the Diamondbacks. 3-1 on Mathis. And Jeff's aboard for the 2nd time tonight.
It was a really good at bat by Nick Ahmed. Obviously, it ended with the home run, but he sees a fastball on the first pitch, takes it for a strike, and then it's a series of sliders, some nasty ones out there off that outside corner, and then he hangs one. You hang him, we bang him. Our nationwide vision, eye on the game. Nick Ahmed with the second home run of the game.
Tell you what, Nick Ahmed has now hit safely in 11 of his last 13 games. And over that span, he's got 19 RBIs. Here's Avila to hit for Andres, 167 and 5 homers. Giants put 3 infielders on the first base side against Alex, who had a bases loaded walk for an RBI in his start behind the plate last night. Well, on a night like tonight, you expect various dignitaries to stop by the booth. 20th anniversary celebration. Visiting us now, the former mayor of Benson, Arizona, and his entourage.
I think that's his staff. He has a bigger staff than I do.
And a much better looking one, I'll have to say that.
No doubt about it.
Well, when you're the former mayor, you get, you know, royal red carpet treatment. That fastball's a strike. More good news. It's now 3-0 Astros at Dodger Stadium. Still in the 6th inning. Rockies lost 8-4 at Milwaukee. Now the Dodgers are down 3-zip. If this all holds up, Diamondbacks will have a 1-game lead atop the National League West. And they would be 3 games ahead of Colorado and 6 up on the Giants. San Francisco turns the double play. Nick Ahmed, a 2-homer game. It's 9-2. Game summary. What a day to be a D-back. A tremendous alumni game, a big crowd on hand, 20th anniversary team introduced, and a 9-2 lead over the Giants as we start the 9th inning. A big night for Steven Souza Jr., who has tripled and doubled and knocked in 3. Ketel Marte, a 2-run homer. Nick Ahmed, the offensive star, with a single, a walk, and 2 home runs. He's knocked in 4. Now Andrew Chafin is on to get the final 3 outs. Steven Duggar, the center fielder, who hit his first big league home run in the 4th off Clay Buchholz, will start it off for the Giants. Chase Darno is in the on deck circle, ready to hit for the pitcher. And then it's Andrew McCutchen. Chops to third. Look at Escobar go get it. Duggar can run well. He beats it out. But boy, Escobar made a nice play, ranging towards second.
Range check right there for Eduardo Escobar. Really the only defender on the left side of the infield. Had a long way to go to get to that ball. Little chopper to the left side. Just too much speed from Steven Duggar out of that left-handed batter's box. Boy, what a nice play.
Yeah, Escobar wasn't even in the picture when that ball was hit. And now Darno will bat for the pitcher Law. Chase Darno, 253 home runs. 0 for 4 in the series. He struck out 3 times. Make it now 4-0 Astros in LA. Still in the 6th inning. They're getting to Kenta Maeda. So if all holds, it would be D-backs 1 up on the Dodgers, 3 ahead of Colorado, and 6 up on the Giants, leading the NL West. Down the line in right, and slicing out of play. D-backs will have a chance to take 3 of 4 from the Giants tomorrow. Robbie Ray versus Derek Holland, a matchup of left-handers. First pitch at 1:10. D-backs live pregame show at 12:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. And then it's 3 against the Phillies as Darno chases a high heater. 1 down for Chafin.
Receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos.
Here's McCutchen, who is 4 for 4. He's singled 3 times and homered. Ron Pennington down there. 0-2. Now, this is an impressive weekend, Bob, considering the way the Giants came in here and ran up an 8-1 win on the Diamondbacks in the series opener after they split with Texas. And they have bounced back in a big way. 6-3 winners last night, 9-2 leading here. McCutchen deep to left center, and he's 5 for 5. It rolls all the way to the corner out there. They're going to send Duggar home, and McCutchen's got an RBI double.
I talked about David Peralta barreling up balls earlier in the game. Andrew McCutchen's barreled it up 5 times in the game tonight. 4 times. He hit a ground ball through the right side for one of his base hits, but a lot of loud contact from the Giants right fielder tonight.
They'll make it 9-3, and here's Gorkys Hernandez. Now 5-0 Astros, still in the 6th inning in LA. Houston pouring it on. They've knocked Maeda out of the ball game. Oh, 0-2.
And just reading the game tracker, it sounds like the Astros put down a squeeze bunt against the Dodgers. Martin Maldonado, the catcher, dumping a bunt out in front of home plate to score a run.
It's good to see the squeeze bunt alive and well, sort of. Maybe on life support anyway.
Might see a half a dozen of them or so this year. We're talking about the 20th anniversary team, and I've mentioned this before. Matt Williams and Jay Bell both unable to attend here today because they have jobs. But for me, those two guys coming here to Arizona really established that this is a place you want to be. This is a place you want to play. Two really professional players, very good at what they do, as Chafin strikes out Hernandez for the second out. And I think that really paved the way for what this organization has become, getting superstar caliber players, great teammates, great leaders right away to start the franchise.
And it's been a terrific day of D-backs baseball from the early afternoon here to just after 8 o'clock local time. Longoria last man standing for the Giants. D-backs put the shift on the left-hand side. Here's a slider for a strike. McCutcheon still down there at second after his second ever 5-hit game. 3 singles, a double, and a home run. McCutcheon has singled, or Longoria has singled and doubled tonight. Fastball misses away, 1-1. Webby and Todd standing by. D-backs live post-game show follows our ball game. A lot to talk about on a great day of Diamondback baseball. A strike away. Well, it's going to be a fun ride. Hop aboard. This is game number 112, so we're down to our final 50. In a neck-and-neck sprint with those boys from LA. D-backs looking at first place in the NL West. 1-2 to Evan Longoria. Sliders in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawford, the on deck hitter. Got him. And the Diamondbacks win it 9-3. Get fired up, Arizona. You got a first place ball club here. And they are rolling into August. Another big offensive performance. Clay Buchholz was terrific. The bullpen outstanding. And a whole bunch of Diamondback offense.
Yeah, certainly the offense should be the highlight of this show, but a real good opportunity for the bullpen to get back on track. Jake Diekman and Brad Ziegler had a rough outing. Matt Andrees as well. Good to see those guys get their legs underneath them. They're all going to be very important the rest of the way.
D-backs get to 62 and 50, 12 over 500. They've won 9 of their last 13 games. Much more from Chase Field after this.